Hey, I'm Donna. So glad you're here. Today, we're going to tackle the exact framework I teach my clients to absolutely crush behavioral interviews and, walk away with actual job offers. It's called the STAR method, and trust me, learning how to use it and how to bend the rules a little is going to make you unforgettable. Let's get right into it. You know that feeling, right? You leave an interview and you just know you fumbled it. You got all this amazing experience, but the second they say, "Tell me about a time when," your brain just freezes up. Or worse, you start rambling. It's so frustrating, but believe me, you are not alone in this. And look, here's the absolute key. Having the experience is not enough. The candidates who actually get the job offers, they're the ones who can spin a really compelling story about that experience. It's all about the narrative. And that is exactly where the STAR method comes in. Think of this as your secret weapon. It's the framework that's going to turn your answers from just a boring list of things you did into a memorable story that really shows off your value. Okay, so a super common mistake I see all the time is people trying to explain both the situation and the task. But see here, it's one or the other. Don't make this more complicated than it needs to be. Just pick one. Set the scene for your story, and that's it. So let's just break it down real simple. First, you set the scene with either the situation or the task. Got it? Then you dive into the specific actions you personally took. And finally, and this is critical, you wrap it up with the result. Simple, clear, and believe me, super powerful. All right, theory is great and all, but let's see how this thing actually works in the real world. I want to walk you through a classic example from a client of mine who was a contractor on a huge construction project. So here's the situation. The project was in serious trouble. I mean, the estimators totally underbid the job. And now they're halfway done and facing this massive budget crisis because of delays and costs going through the roof. The stakes, incredibly high. Now, this is the crucial action step. What did they actually do? They didn't just sit there and panic. No. They made a really tough, decisive call to scrap a planned feature, this bike lane, to slash costs. And then they got proactive. They went straight to the city officials to get the whole thing approved. See how specific and full of ownership that is? That's the good stuff. And finally, the result. The city said yes, the project got finished, and they avoided going bankrupt. Now, the most important part here is to always tie your result back to that initial situation. You have to close the loop. Otherwise, you're just leaving the interviewer hanging, and the story just feels, incomplete. But telling a great story in the interview is only half the battle. You have to get the interview in the first place. And here's a pretty shocking fact about why that's so much harder than you think. A whopping 75% of resumes are automatically thrown out by bots before a human being ever lays eyes on them. You could be the absolute perfect candidate with the most amazing stories, but if your resume isn't formatted to get past these bots, you're basically invisible. And that's exactly the problem our sponsor, MobileCV.ai, was built to solve. Honestly, MobileCV.ai is a total game changer. It uses world-class AI and these super professional law tech templates to build you a pixel-perfect, bot-beating CV in less than a minute. And you can do it right from your phone. It even has an AI that writes your cover letters. It is, without a doubt, the surest way to get your story in front of a real person. All right, so now that your resume is going to get you in the door, let's talk about how to make your story truly unforgettable. We want you to stand out from the dozens of other candidates who are all using the same basic STAR method. It's time to level up. So, the standard SAR method is your foundation. It's solid. But the pros? They know how to shuffle the deck for maximum impact. You can lead with the result to grab their attention with a big win, or you can lead with the action to create immediate drama. Just by changing the order, you completely transform how powerful your story is. Exactly. It's just like a movie that opens with this crazy action scene and then flashes back to show you how they got into that mess. Starting with something bold like, "I once had to make massive cost cuts on a project about to go under," hooks the interviewer right away. A powerful story makes you a memorable candidate, period. This kind of strategic storytelling, this is what separates a candidate who's just good from the one they absolutely have to hire. So let's just recap the 3 awesome structures you have in your toolkit now. You've got the classic STAR method, that's your reliable go-to. You've got the impact first method, where you lead with that shiny, impressive result. And you've got the drama first method, where you jump right in with a bold action.
Get comfortable with all three.
And hey, if you want a little more help with this stuff, I've actually got a gift for you. You can download my free guide to behavioral questions over at jobtips.pro. And if you'd like to work with me one-on-one to craft your own career stories, you can book a call with me at bookdonna.vip. So as you're getting ready for that next interview, please don't just think about what you did. Think about how you're going to tell that story. The right framework can literally make all the difference. So which one are you going to use?